Chapter 26. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rajovacha Maharshye tadvai chitriyam lokasya katamiti. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, "My dear sir, why are the living entities put into different material situations? Kindly explain this to me." Rishiruvacha Trigunatvat Kartuhu Shraddhaya Karmagatayah Prutagvidaha Sarva Eva Sarvasya Taratamyena Bhavanti. The great sage Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, in this material world there are three kinds of activities: those in the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. Because all people are influenced by the three modes of material nature, the results of their activities are also divided into three. One who acts in the mode of goodness is religious and happy. One who acts in passion achieves mixed misery and happiness. And one who acts under the influence of ignorance is always unhappy and lives like an animal. Because of the various degrees of which the living entities are influenced by the different modes of nature, their destinations are also of different varieties." Atedanim प्रतिषिद्धलक्षणस्याद्धर्मस्य तथैव कर्तुः श्रद्धया वैसादृश्यात् कर्मफलं विसदृशं भवति या ह्यनाद्यविद्यया कृतकामानां तत्परिणामलक्षणाः श्रुतयः सहस्रशः प्रवृत्तास्तासां प्राचुर्येणानुवर्णयिष्यामः. Just as by executing various pious activities, one achieves different positions in heavenly life. By acting impiously, one achieves different position in hellish life. Those who are activated by the material mode of ignorance engage in impious activities, and according to the extent of their ignorance, they are placed in different grades of hellish life. If one acts in the mode of ignorance because of madness, his resulting misery is the least severe. One who acts impiously but knows the distinction between pious and impious activities is placed in a hell of intermediate severity. And for one who acts impiously and ignorantly because of atheism, the resultant hellish life is the worst. Because of ignorance, every living entity has been carried by various desires into thousands of different hellish planets since time immemorial. I shall try to describe them as far as possible. Rajovacha Naraka Nama Bhagavan Kim Desha Vishesha Atava Bahisralokya Aho Kidantarala Iti. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, "My dear Lord, are the hellish regions outside the universe, within the covering of the universe, or in different places on this planet?" Rishiruvacha Antaralayeva Trijagatyastu Dishi Dakshinasyamadhastad Bhumerupa Rishtacha Jaladhyasyamagnishvatadayah Pitrugana Dishi Swanam Gotranam Paramena Samadhina Satya Yevashisha Ashasana Nivasanti. The great sage Sukadeva Goswami answered, all the hellish planets are situated in the intermediate space between the three worlds and the Garbhodaka ocean. They lie on the southern side of the universe, beneath Bhumandala and slightly above the water of Garbhodaka ocean. Pitruloka is also located in this region between Garbhodaka ocean and the lower planetary systems. All the residents of Pitruloka, headed by Agniswatha, meditate in great samadhi on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always wish their families well. Yatra vav bhagavan piturajo vaivaswatah svavishayam prapiteshu swapurushaiर्जन्तुषु sampareteshu yata karmavadhyam doषमेवानुल्लङ्घित bhagavachāsanah saganodamam dharayati. The king of the Pitas in Yamaraja. The king of the Pitas is Yamaraja, the very powerful son of the sun god. He resides in Pitruloka with his personal assistant, and while abiding by the rules and regulations set down by the Supreme Lord, has his agents, the Yamadutas, bring all the sinful men to him immediately upon their death. After bringing them within his jurisdiction, he properly judges them according to their specific sinful activities and sends them to one of the many hellish planets for suitable punishments. Tatra haike narakane ganayanti atha tamste rajannama rupa lakshanato nukra mistrodhata mistro gauravo mahagauravah kumbipakah Rauravo Maharauravah Kumbipakah Kama Sutramasi Patravanam Asipatravanam Sukara Mukha Mandakupaha Kumibojanaha Sandam Shastapta Surmir Sandam Shastapta Surmir Vajrakanta Kashalmali Vaitarani Puyodaha Pranarodo Vishamsanam Lala Bhakshaha Sarameyadanamavichirayah Panamiti Kincha Kshara Kardhamo Rakshogana Bhojanaha Shula Proto Dandashuko Vatani Rodhanaha Paryavartanaha Suchi Mukha Mityashta Vimshatirnaraka Vivida Yatana Bhumayaha. Some authorities say that there is a total of 21 hellish planets, and some say 28. My dear king, I shall outline all of them according to their names, forms, and symptoms. The names of the different hells are as follows: Tamishra, Andatamishra, Raurava, Maharaurava, Kumbipaka, Kalasutra, Asipatravana, Sukaramukha, Andakupa, Krimibhojana, Sandhamsa, Taptasurmi, Vajrakantaka, Shalmali, Vaitarani, Puyoda, Pranarodha, Visasana, Lala Bhaksha, सरम सरमेयधन अविशि अय्यपान क्षराकर्दम रक्षोगणभोजन सुलप्रोत दन्तसुख अवतनिरोधन Paryavartana and Suchimukha. All these planets are meant for punishing the living entities. Tatra yastu paravittapatyakalatra sahi kala pashavaddo yamapurushairati bhayana kaistamisre narake balannipatyate anashana nudapanadandataandana samtarjanadibhiryatanabiryatymano janturyatra kashmala masadita ekadaiva murchamupayati tamisra praye. My dear king, a person who appropriates another legitimate wife, children, or money is arrested at the time of death by fierce Yamadutas who bind him with a rope of time and forcibly throw him into the hellish planet known as Tamishra. On this very dark planet, the sinful man is chastised by the Yamadutas who beat and rebuke him. He is starved and he is given no water to drink. Thus, the wrathful assistants of Yamaraja cause him severe suffering and sometimes he faints from their chastisement. Evamevandata misre yastu vanchayitva purusham daradhi nupayunkte yatra shariri nipatyamano yatanasto vedanaya nashtamatirshtadrishtischa bhavati yata vanaspatirvrushyamana मूलस्तास्मादन्तमिस्रं tamupadishanti. The destination of a person who shyly cheats another man and enjoys his wife and children is the hell known as Andatamishra. There, his condition is exactly like that of a tree being chopped at its roots. Even before reaching Andatamishra, the sinful living being is subjected to various extreme miseries. These afflictions are so severe that he loses his intelligence and sight. It is for this reason that learned sages call this hell Andatamishra. Yastvihava etadahamiti mamedamiti bhutadrohena kevalam swakutumbhavemanudinam prashunnati sa tadahi vihaya swayameva tadashubhena gaurave nipatati. A person who accepts his body as his self works hard day and night for money to maintain his overall body and the bodies of his wife and children. While working to maintain himself and his family, he may commit violence against other living entities. Such a person is forced to give up his body and his family at the time of death, when he suffers the reaction of his envy of other creatures by being thrown into the hell called Raurava. Ye tviha yataivamuna vihimsita jantavaha paratra yamayatanamupagatam ta eva ruravo bhutva tata tameva vihimsanti tasmad drauravamityahrururiti sarpadati krura satvasyapadeshaha. In his life, an envious person commits violent acts against many living entities. Therefore, after his death, when he is taken to hell by Yamaraja, those living entities who were hurt by him appear as animals called Rurus to inflict severe pain upon him. Learned scholars call this hell Raurava, not generally seen in this world. The Ruru is more envious than a snake. एवमेव महारौरवो यत्र निपतितं पुरुषं क्रव्यादा नाम रुरवस्थं क्रव्येण धातयन्ति यः केवलं देहम्बरः. Punishment in the hell called Maharaurava is compulsory for a person who maintains his body by hurting others. In this hell, Ruru animals known as Kravyada torment him and eat his flesh. Yastvihava ugraha purun pakshino va pranata uparandhayati tamapakarunam purushadairapi vigarhitamamutra Yamanucharaha kumbipake taptataile uparandhayanti. For the maintenance of their bodies and the satisfaction of their tongues, cruel persons cook poor animals and birds alive. Such persons are condemned even by man-eaters. In their next lives, they are carried by the Yamadutas to the hell known as Kumbipaka, where they are cooked in boiling oil. Yastviha brahmadrupa kala sutra sanjnake narake ayutayojana phagmindale yojana parimandale. Okay, there's difference between ayutayojana parimandale tamramaye taptakhale uparyatastadangyarkamyamamiti tapyamane bhiniveshitaha shrutpipasabhyam cha dahyamanantar bahihi sharira aste shete cheshtate vatishtati paridhavati cha yavanti pashuromani tavadvarsha sahasrani. The killer of the Brahmana is put into a hell known as Kalasutra, which has a circumference of 80,000 miles and which is made entirely of copper. Heated from below by fire and from above by scorching sun, the copper surface of this planet is extremely hot. Thus the murderer of the Brahmana suffers from being burned both internally and externally. Internally he is burning with hunger and thirst, and externally he is burning from the scorching heat of the sun and the fire beneath the copper surface. Therefore he sometimes lies down, sometimes sits, sometimes stands up, and sometimes runs here and there. He must suffer in this way for as many thousands of years as there are hairs on the body of an animal. Yastviha vai Nija Veda Patadana Padyapagataha Pakandam Chopagatastamasi Patravanam Praveshya Kashaya प्रहरन्ति तत्र हासावितस्ततो धावमान उभयतो धारैस्तालवनासिपत्रैश्चिद्यमान सर्वाङ्गोः हतोऽस्मिति परमया वेदनया मूर्छितः पदे पदे निपतति स्वधर्मः पाकण्डानुगतं फलं भुङ्क्ते. If a person deviates from the path of Vedas in the absence of an emergency, the servants of Yamaraja put him into the hell called Asipatravana, where they beat him with whips. When he runs hither and thither, fleeing from extreme pain, on all sides he runs into palm trees with leaves like sharpened swords. Thus, injured all over his body and fainting at every step, he cries, "Oh, what shall I do now? How shall I be saved?" This is how one suffers who deviates from the accepted religious principles. Yastvih vai raja rajapurusho va adhandye dandam pranayati brahmane va शरीरदण्डं स पापीयान्नरके मुत्र सुकरमुखे निपतति तत्रातिबलैर्विनिष्विण्यमाणावयवो यतैवेहेक्षुखण्ड आर्तस्वरेण स्वनयन क्वचिन्मूर्छितः कश्मलमुपगतो यतैवेहादृष्टदोषा उपरुद्धाः. In his next life, a sinful king or government representative who punishes an innocent person or who inflicts corporal punishment upon a brahmana is taken by the Yamadutas to the hell named Sukharamukha, where the most powerful assistants of Yamaraja crush him exactly as one crushes sugarcane to squeeze out the juice. The sinful living entity cries very pitiably and faints, just like an innocent man undergoes punishments. This is the result of punishing a faultless person. Yastviha vai bhutanam ishwaropa vritti nama vivikta parakyathanam swayam purushopakalpita vrittirvivikta paravyatho vyathamacharati saparatrandhakupe तदभिद्रोहेण निपतति तत्र हासौ तैर्जन्तुभिः पशुमृगपक्षि सघीसृषैर्मर्षकयूकामत्कुण मक्षिकाधिर्भिर्येके चाभिदुग्धास्ते सर्वतो विद्रुह्यमाणस्तमसि विहतरिद्रा निर्वृत्तिरलब्धावस्थानः परिक्रामति यथा कुशरीरे जीवः. By the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, low-grade living beings like bugs and mosquitoes suck the blood of human beings and other animals. Such insignificant creatures are unaware that their bites are painful to human beings. However, for first-class human beings, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are developed in consciousness and therefore they know how painful it is to be killed. A human being endowed with knowledge certainly commits sin if he kills or torments insignificant creatures who have no discrimination. The Supreme Lord punishes such a man by putting him into the hell called Andakupa, where he is attacked by all the birds and beasts reptiles, mosquitoes, lice, worms, flies, and any other creatures he tormented during his life. They attack him from all sides, robbing him of the pleasure of sleep. Unable to rest, he constantly wanders about in the darkness. Thus, in Andakupa, his suffering is just like that of a creature in lower regions. यस्त्विहवा असंविभज्याश्नाति यत्किञ्चनोपनतमनिर्मितपञ्चयज्ञो वायससंस्तुतः स परत्र कुमिभोजने नरकाधमे निपतति तत्र शतसहस्रयोजने कुम्भीकुण्डे कुम् कृमिभूतः स्वयं कृमिभिरेव भक्ष्यमाणः कृमिभोजनो यावत्तदप्रहृतादोस्निर्वेशमात्मानं यातयते. A person is considered no better than a crow if after receiving some food he does not divide it among guests, old men and children, but simply eats it himself, or if he eats it without performing the 5 kinds of sacrifice. After death he is put into the most abominable hell known as Krumbivojana. In that hell is a lake 1000 yojanas or 800,000 miles wide and filled with worms. He becomes a worm in that lake and feeds on the other worms there, who also feed on him. Unless he atones for his actions before his death, such a sinful man remains in the hellish lake of Krumbibhojana for as many years as there are yojanas in the width of the lake. यस्त्विह वै स्थेयेन बलाद्वा हिरण्यरत्नादीनि ब्राह्मणस्य वापहरत्यन्यस्य वानापदि पुरुषस्तममुत्र राजन् यमपुरुषा अयस्मयैरग्निपिण्डैः सन्दंश्यैस्त्वचि nishkushanti. My dear king, a person who in the absence of an emergency robs a brahmana or indeed anyone else of his gems and gold is put into the hell known as Sandamsa. There his skin is torn and separated by red hot iron balls and tongs. In this way his entire body is cut into pieces. यस्त्विह वा अगम्यां स्त्रियमगम्य वा पुरुषं योषिधभिगच्छति तावमुत्र कषया ताडयन्तस्तिग्मया सूर्म्या लोहमय्या पुरुषमालिङ्गयन्ति स्त्रियं च पुरुषरूपया सूर्म्या. A man or woman who indulges in sexual intercourse with an unworthy member of the opposite sex is punished after death by assistance of Yamaraja in the hell known as Tapta Surmi. There such men and women are beaten with whips. The man is forced to embrace a red-hot iron form of a woman, and the woman is forced to embrace a similar form of a man. Such is the punishment for illicit sex. Yastviha vai sarvabhigamastamutra niraye vartamanam vajrakanta kashalmali maropya nishkarshanti. A person who indulges in sex indiscriminately, even with animals, is taken after death to hell known as Vajra Kantaka Salmali. In this hell, there is a silk cotton tree full of thorns as strong as thunderbolts. The agents of Yamaraja hang the sinful man on the tree and pull him down forcibly so that the thorns very severely tear his body. ये त्विह वै राजन्या राजपुरुषा वा अपाकण्डा धर्मसेतून् भिन्दन्ति ते सम्परेत्य वैतरण्यां निपतन्ति भिन्नमर्यादास्तस्यां निरयपरिकाभूतायां नद्यां यादोगणैरितस्ततो भक्ष्यमाणा आत्मनान विरुह्यमानाः स्वादेन कर्मपाकमनुस्मरन्तो विण्मूत्रपूयशोणित केशनखास्तिमेदो मांस वसावहिन्यमुपतप्यन्ते. A person who is born into a respectful, responsible family, such as a Kshatriya, a member of a royalty, or a government servant, but who neglects to execute his prescribed duties according to the religious principles, and who thus becomes degraded, falls down at the time of death into the river of a hell known as Vaitarani. This river, which is a moat surrounding hell, is full of ferocious aquatic animals. When a sinful man is thrown into the river Vaitarani, the aquatic animals there immediately begin to eat him. But because of his extremely sinful life, he does not leave his body. He constantly remembers his sinful activities and suffers terribly in that river, which is full of stool, urine, pus, blood, hair, nails, bones, marrow, flesh, and fat. ये त्विह वै वृषलीपतयो नष्टशौचावारनियमास्त्यक्तलज्जाः पशुचर्यां चरन्ति ते चापि प्रेत्य पूयविण्मूत्रश्लेष्ममलापूर्णार्णवे निपतन्ति तदेवातिभीभत्सितमश्नन्ति. The shameless husbands of the low-born Sudra women live exactly like animals, and therefore they have no good behavior, cleanliness, or regulated life. After death, such persons are thrown into the hell called Puyoda, where they are put into an ocean filled with pus, stool, urine, mucus, saliva, and similar things. Sudras who could not improve themselves fall into that ocean and are forced to eat those disgusting things. Ye tviha vai swargardhabhapatayo brahmanadhayo mrugaya vihara atirte cha mrugan nigdhinanti tanapi samparetalakshya bhutan ya mapurusha ishu bhir vidyanti. If in this life a man of higher class, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, is very fond of taking his pet dogs, mules, and asses into the forest to hunt and kill animals unnecessarily, he is placed after death into the hell known as Pranarodha. There, the assistants of Yamaraja make him their targets and pierce him with arrows. Ye tviha vai dambhika dhabyagnaheshu pashun vishasanti tana mushmilloke वैशसे नरके पतितान् निरयपतयो यातयित्वा vishasanti. A person who in this life is proud of his eminent position and who heedlessly sacrifices animals simply for material prestige is put into the hell called Vaisasana after death. There, the assistants of Yamaraja kill him after giving him unlimited pain. Yas tviha vai savarnam bharyam dvijo retaha पाययति काममोहितस्तं पापकृतममुत्र रेतः कुल्यायां पातयित्वा रेतः सम्पायायन्ति. If a foolish man of the twice born classes, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, forces his wife to drink his semen out of lusty desire to keep her under control, he is put after death into the hell known as Lalabhaksha. There he is thrown into a flowing river of semen, which he is forced to drink. Ye tviha vai dasyavognidha gharada graman sartan va vilumpanti rajano rajabhatava tamschapihi paretya yamadhuta vajradamshtraha shanaha saptashatani vimshatischa sarabhasam khadanti. In this world, some persons are professional plunderers who set fire to others' houses or administer poison to them. Also, members of the royalty or government officials sometimes plunder mercantile men by forcing them to pay income tax and by other methods. After death, such persons are put into the hell known as Sarameyadhana. On that planet, there are 720 dogs with teeth as strong as thunderbolts. Under the orders of the agents of the Yamaraja, these dogs voraciously devour such sinful people. Yes tvihava anrutam vadhati sakshye dravya vinimaye daneva katanchit sa vai pretya narake vichimatyadhyashira niravakasho yojana shatonchrayad girimudnaha sampatyate yatra lajamiva stalamashmaprushta mavabhasate tadavichi mattilasho vishirya shariro na mriyamanaha punararopito nipatati. A person who in this life bears false witness or lies while transacting business or giving charity is severely punished after death by the agents of Yamaraja. Such a sinful man is taken to the top of the mountain 800 miles high and thrown headfirst into the hell known as Avichimat. This hell has no shelter and is made of strong stone resembling the waves of water. There is no water there, however, thus it is called Avichimat, waterless. Although the sinful man is repeatedly thrown from the mountains and his body broken into tiny pieces, he still does not die but continuously suffers chastisement. Yes tvihavai priyo, yes tvihavai vipro rajanyo vaishyo va somapi tastatkalatram va suram vratastopi va pibati pramadatasye tesham nirayam neetanamurasi padakramyasye vanhina dravamanam karshnayasam nishinchanti. Any Brahmana or Brahmana's wife who drinks liquor is taken by the agents of Yamaraja to the hell known as Ahpana. This hell also awaits any Kshatriya, Vaishya or a person under a vow who in illusion drinks Somarasa. In Ayapana, the agents of Yamaraja stand on their chests and pour hot melted iron into their mouths. Atacha yastvihava atmasambhavanena swaya madhamo janma tapo vidhachara varnashramavato variyasona bahu मन्येत स मृतक एव मृत्वा क्षारकर्धमे निरयेवाक्षिरा निपातितो दुरन्ता यातना ह्यश्नुते. A low-born and abominable person who in his life becomes falsely proud, thinking I am great, and who thus fails to show proper respect to one more elevated than he, by birth, austerity, education, behavior, caste, or spiritual order, is like a dead man even in this lifetime, and after death he is thrown headfirst into the hell known as Kshara Kardama. There he must great great suffer great tribulations at hands of the agents of Yamaraja. ये त्विह वै पुरुषाः पुरुषमेधेन यजन्ते याश्च स्त्रियो नृपश्रून् खादन्ति तांश्च ते पशव इव निहता यमसदेन यातयन्तो रक्षोगणाः सौनिका इव स्वधितिनावधायासृक् पिबन्ति नृत्यन्ति च गायन्ति च हृष्यमाणा यतेह पुरुषादाः. There are men and women in this world who sacrifice human beings to Bhairava or Bhadrakali and then eat their victims' flesh. Those who perform such sacrifices are taken after death to the abode of Yamaraja, where their victim, having taken the form of Rakshasas, cut them into pieces with sharpened swords, just as in this world the man-eaters drank their victims' blood, dancing and singing in jubilation. Their victims now enjoy drinking the blood and sacrifices and celebrating in this way. ये त्विह वा अनागसोरण्ये ग्रामे वा पविश्रम्भट्य जिजीविषून् शूलसूत्रादिषु पप्रोतान् क्रीडनकथया यातयन्ति तेऽपि च प्रेत्य यमयातनासु शूलादिषु प्रोतात्मानः श्रुतृभ्यां चाभिहताः कङ्कवटाधिभिश्चेतस्ततस्तिग्मतुण्डैराहन्यमाना आत्मशमलं स्मरन्ति. In this life, some people give shelter to animals and birds that come to them for protection in the village or forest, and after making them believe that they will be protected, such people pierce them with lances or threads and play with them like toys, giving them great pain. After death, such people are brought by the assistance of Yamaraja to the hell known as Sulaprota, where their bodies are pierced with sharp needle-like lances. They suffer from hunger and thirst, and sharp-beaked birds such as vultures and herons come to them from all sides to tear their bodies. Tortured and suffering, they can then remember the sinful activities they committed in the past. Ye tviha vai bhutan yurdvejayanti nara ulbana kabhava yata dandashukastepi प्रेत्य नरके दन्दशूका काक्ये निपतन्ति यत्र नृप दन्दशूकाः पञ्चमुखाः सप्तमुखा उपसृत्य ग्रसन्ति यथा भिलेशयान्. Those who in this life are like envious serpents, always angry and giving pain to other living entities, fall after death into the hellish hell known as Dandasuka. My dear king, in this hell there are serpents with 5 or 7 hoods. These serpents eat such sinful persons such as snakes eat mice. Just as snakes eat mice. ye tvihava andhavata kusula guhadishu bhutani nirundhanti tata mutra teshve vopaveshan veshaya sagarena vanhina dhumena nirundhanti. Those who in this life confine other living entities in dark wells, granaries, or mountain caves, or are put after death into hell known as Avatanirodhana. There they themselves are punished into dark wells where poisonous fumes and smoke suffocate them and they suffer very severely. Yastvihava atiti nabhyagatan va gruhapatira sakrudupa gata manyurdisha kshuriva papena chakshusha nirikshate tasya chapi niraye papa drushte rakshini vajratunda गृद्राः कङ्ककाकवटादयः प्रसह्योरुबलादुत्पादयन्ति. A householder who receives guests or visitors with cruel glances or as if to burn them to ashes is put into hell called Paryavartana, where he is gazed at by hard-eyed vultures, herons, crows, and similar birds, who suddenly swoop down and pluck out his eyes with great force. Yastvihava आढ्याभिर्मतिरहङ्कृतिस्तिर्यं प्रेक्षणः सर्वतो विशङ्की अर्थव्ययनाश चिन्तया पतिशुष्यमाणा हृदय वधनो निर्वृतिमनवगतो ग्रह इवार्थमभिरक्षति स चापि प्रेत्य तदुत्पादनोत्कर्षण संरक्षण शमलग्रह सूचीमुखे नरके निपतति यत्रः वित्तग्रहं पापपुरुषं धर्मराजपुरुषा वायका इव सर्वतोङ्गेषु सूत्रैः परिवयन्ति. One who in this world or in this life is very proud of his wealth always thinks, I'm so rich, who can equal me? His vision is twisted and he is always afraid that someone will take his wealth. Indeed, he even suspects his superiors. His face and heart dry up at the thought of losing his wealth, and therefore he always looks like a wretched friend. He is not in any way able to obtain actual happiness, and he does not know what it is to be free from anxiety. Because of sinful things, he does not earn money, augment his wealth, and protect it. He is put into the hell called Suchimukha, where the officials of Yamaraja punish him by stitching thread through his entire body like weavers manufacturing cloth. Evam vidha naraka yamalaye santi shatashah सहस्रशस्तेषु सर्वेषु च सर्व एवा धर्मवर्तिनो ये केचिदिहोदिता अनुदिताश्चाव निपते पर्यायेण विशन्ति तथैव धर्मानुवर्तिना इतरत्र इह तु पुनर्भवेन उभयशेषाभ्यां निविशन्ति. My dear King Parikshit, in the province of Yamaraja, there are hundreds and thousands of hellish planets. The impious people I have mentioned and also those I have not mentioned must all enter these various planets according to the degree of their impiety. Those who are pious, however, enter other planetary systems, namely the planets of demigods. Nevertheless, both the pious and impious are again brought to earth after the results of their pious and impious are exhausted. Nivrittilakshanamārga ādaveva vyakyātah etavānevāndakosho yaschaturdashadha purusheshu विकल्पिता उपगीयते तत्तद्भगवतो नारायणस्य साक्षान्महापुरुषस्य स्तविष्टं रूपमात्ममाया गुणमयमनुवर्णितमादृतः पठति शृणोति श्रावयति स उपगेयं भगवतः परमात्मनोग्रह्यमपि श्रद्धा भक्ति विशुद्ध वृद्धिर्वेद. In the beginning, the second and the third cantos of Shrimad Bhagavatam, I have described how one can progress on the path of liberation. In the Puranas, the vast universal existence, which is like an egg divided into 14 parts, is described. This vast form is considered the external body of the Lord, created by his energy and qualities. It is generally called the Virat Purusha. If one reads the description of this external form of the Lord with great faith, or if one hears about it or explains it to others to propagate Bhagavata Dharma or Krishna consciousness, his faith and devotion in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, will gradually increase. Although developing this consciousness is very difficult, by this process one can purify himself and gradually come to awareness of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Shrutva sthulam tata स्तुत्वा स्थूलं तथा सूक्ष्मं रूपं भगवतो यतिः स्थूले निर्जितमात्मानं शनैः सूक्ष्मं धिया नयेदिति. One who is interested in liberation, one who is interested in liberation, who accepts the path of liberation and is not attracted to the path of conditional life, is called yati or devotee or a devotee. Such a person should first control his mind by thinking of the Virat Rupa, the gigantic universal form of the Lord, and then gradually think of the spiritual form of Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, after hearing of both forms. Thus one's mind is fixed in samadhi. By devotional service, one can then realize the spiritual form of the Lord, which is the destination of the devotees. Thus, in his life, become successful. Burdvipavarshah saridadritabah samudra patala dinnaraka bhagana loka samstha gita maya tava rupadbhuta bhishwarasya sthulam vapuh sakala jiva Nikaya Dhama. My dear King, I have now described for you this planet Earth, other planetary systems and their lands, varshas, rivers and mountains. I have also described the sky, the oceans, the lower planetary systems, the directions, the hellish planets and the stars. These constitute the Virat Rupa, the gigantic form of the Lord, on which all living entities repose. Thus I have explained the wonderful expanse of the external body of the Lord. Thus ends the chapter entitled A Description of Hellish Planets. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.